Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight was Monday Night Raw. And I will say, it was a good episode of Monday Night Raw. I wouldn't call it great or anything. I would say it was a good episode of Raw, but unlike the mid-tier good, if that makes any sense. Because there was times where I was bored watching Raw. I will say that. I was bored with parts of this show. So, like, I wouldn't call it a bad show per se, but I would say that it was just a good, I guess you would say to average Monday Night Raw. They did a little to build up Saturday night's main event. I mean, they pushed the John Cena stuff very hard. Gunther opened up the show with a great promo. I love the line of, "You're the greatest sports entertainer of all time, while I'm the greatest professional wrestler of all time." I loved that line. That was so good by Gunther. And then, like, the middle of the show kind of just, it was just there. There was a lull, if I'm going to be completely honest, a lull in this show where I was just like, I don't care about this. Yeah, that's all right. That wasn't bad. And when you're saying something's just not bad, it means it's really not all that good either. And then the main event, I feel like they kind of rushed the main event with Logan Paul and LA Knight just to get to the post-match stuff, the promos, and the beat down to, I guess maybe you would say, right off LA Knight. I don't know if that was writing him off of television for a little while or what, but I mean, they smashed him through the car, or at least smashed him on the top of the car. So, yeah. I don't know. Just kind of a average to mid-tier good Monday Night Raw. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below, by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, help us out over on YouTube. Help us out over there. You can hit the subscribe button. That way you know we post new videos when we go live and when we post to the community tab. Also, remember, you can help us out by hitting the join button and becoming a channel member. As a channel member, you get a badge next to your name, emotes, and emojis that you can use in the live chat, and you also get access to our graphics packages. And also, finally, remember, on YouTube, you can donate a super chat, get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air. Finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Let's see if the Epic Store's got any big sales going on right now. Epic Game Store. Let's see if they got any big sales going on right now. We got some new stuff for Fortnite Reloaded. Pushing Arc Raiders really hard. Danny Phantom in Fortnite. Ooh, you want to claim this free game? Jackbox Party Pack 4 is free right now. That is a great pack. It gives you Fibbage. It gives you, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, it gives you Fibbage. It gives you I forget the name of it, but the Madversity. Madversity, you get Civic Doodle. You get, I think, a Trivia Murder Party in that as well. So go claim that. Use our code PW Unlimited. Also, Immortals Phoenix Rising, not a bad game. Only $7.99 right now. It's 80% off. But with all of that, as I go back over to my notes, we had Monday Night Raw tonight from Kansas City, Missouri. And before we get into that, though, I see we do have some bit donations here from Esports Gaming Rules. He says, I think that is a wild cliffhanger on Raw because fans are freaking out on social media about LA Knight fate in WWE. It looks like a write-off. Sure, write-off. But write-off why? What does that have to do with his fate? Maybe he needs time off. Maybe he asked for an extended winter break, Christmas and New Year's vacation. Just because somebody gets beat down on TV and written off doesn't mean they're leaving the company. Doesn't mean they're getting the boot. Doesn't mean they're getting released. Nothing to worry about, I don't think. Like, no, LA Knight is... They missed the boat on not signing this guy a long time ago, but I guess you could say everything was for the best, and I doubt they would let this guy go now. I doubt they're going to release this guy and let him go. So you saying people are freaking out on social media about LA Knight's fate in WWE, it's nothing. They did this with Braun Strowman and then brought him back like less than a month later. It's not a big deal. People get written off television for storylines and angles all the time. Like I said, I don't know this for a fact. Maybe he asked for extra time off for the holidays. Or maybe they just wanted somebody that was going to take a big beating to get the vision over going into this Braun Breaker title match, and he was the sacrificial lamb. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see any reason to be in a big state of emergency. He also states, I'm glad that Leon Slater is getting a spot at Saturday night's main event and John Cena's final event of his career. No wonder he was pulled from those European wrestling shows that weekend, and WWE and TNA are talking of having AJ Styles on the AMC debut in TNA Impact. Well, where'd you get that news? Because I did not see anything about that. Let's see. AJ Styles, TNA, AMC. I didn't see anything for that, but I was kind of a little out of the loop. Okay, this comes from The Observer. A sources reportedly indicated that TNA would... Okay, so you've misread this, esports gaming rules, where you say WWE and TNA are talking of having AJ Styles do the AMC debut. That's not correct. It says a WWE source has reportedly indicated that TNA would like to have AJ Styles wrestle on the first AMC broadcast. That does not mean that they're in talks. That does not mean that they're trying to figure out a way to make it happen. It just means somebody in WWE spoke to somebody in TNA, and the person in TNA told the person in WWE, that'd be really cool if we had AJ on the show. If AJ could wrestle on this first AMC show. That's all it is. It's more of just two people having a conversation and then it getting brought back to Dave. There's people in there trying to push for this. So yeah, nothing really to that right now. It would be cool. I think AJ should do, especially with WWE having the partnership. I don't see a problem with it. AJ should do one final TNA match. And why not do that first AMC show? It's going to be the most eyeballs on a TNA show all year. And hell, have him challenge Frankie Kazarian for the world title. He also says, what do you think of Paramount Skydash's hostile takeover bid of WBD, trying to stop Netflix by WBD? I think it was. So when they said that Paramount underbid for WBD before, I think they're still underbidding. Because think about it like this, and I'm not going to go too in-depth on this, but think about it like this. Netflix made an offer of $82 billion to WBD just for the production studios, HBO Max, and HBO. That is at a 27 and 50 cent evaluation of their stock. Again, that's only for half the company. Now, Paramount is coming in here with a $108 million offer. That is at an evaluation of $30 per share of the stock. Now, that is for the entire company. So that is saying, basically, well, if the production studios, HBO and HBO Max are all worth $82 million, then the rest of the company is only worth $27 million a share. The rest of the company is only worth $3 a share. I think I said that right. $27 a share, $3. Yeah. I think if they want the whole thing, they may need a higher bid. Because if you think about it again, it's like saying, let's do some math here. 108 divided by 82. No, 82 divided by 108. That's saying that 75% of the importance of WBD is on the studios, HBO and HBO Max. And maybe it is. But then that's saying the rest of the company is only worth 25%. And I don't think that's right, because you've got, and we don't know what is the other half. Is it just TNT, TBS, all the TNT sports properties, True TV, and CNN? Or does that also encompass all the Discovery networks? A&E, HGTV, Cooking Network, Food Network, Magnolia Network, all that stuff too. Is that all lumped in on the TV side as well? Or are they just getting the Warner Brothers TV networks? Or are they getting all the Warner Brothers and Discovery TV networks? That's the thing to look at here. What is everything? What encompasses everything? And Netflix only wants the production side, HBO and HBO Max, where Paramount wants all of it. That's the thing. So we're going to hear things, especially this week, within the next 10 days. WBD has to respond to Paramount Skydance with their offer and give them a yes or a no, and then go from there. So I think we're going to maybe hear a couple more things within the next week or so, and then it's going to die down for a little bit, and then we're going to hear things sporadically for like the next year. Now, when we talk about this as a wrestling story, I don't think this is really going to have, at least not till after, like not till 2028, is this going to have any sort of effect on AEW. I'm just going to say that right now because they got TV deals in place till at least the end of 2027 with an option year. So I don't think mid 2027 is when this could start to potentially have some sort of an impact on AEW. So from a wrestling story, it's something to for sure keep an eye on, but not really a wrestling story yet. And especially, we can't call it a wrestling story because we don't know where it's going. We don't know if Netflix is just getting HBO Max, and then that just is the HBO Max deal for AEW, and then everything else staying still with WBD, the TV side of things. But if Paramount gets all of it, then Paramount's got all of the AEW deals. So we'll figure it out when the time comes, but nothing to really talk too much about right this moment. And he also says it looks like the video library is heading to YouTube. I say a good move. We still don't know that. We still don't know where the WWE video library is going once it is off Peacock at the end of the year. That is something we don't know. WWE could slowly trickle and add more things to the YouTube Vault channels, WWE Vault, ECW Vault, and WCW Vault. But for all we know, maybe ESPN picks it up and throws it all on ESPN Plus or ESPN Unlimited. Maybe Netflix grabs it all. We don't know. And saying it's all going to YouTube, there'd be a lot of stuff to just stick on a YouTube channel. A lot of stuff to just stick on our YouTube channel. So I don't. If it does just go to YouTube, we're not going to have half as much of stuff as we already got right now. I'm going to tell you that right now. We're not going to have half as much of stuff. As far as Raw does go, let me pull my notes back up over here. As far as a Monday Night Raw does go, so again, like I stated, we were in Kansas City, Missouri. Raw started with a video package highlighting the John Cena tournament, culminating with Gunther beating LA Knight in the finals on Friday. Gunther then kicked off the show, looked like a megastar. This guy always comes out and just looks like a top guy, always. Entered wearing all black, black pants, black shirt, black trench coat, and he comes down to the ring, eager to speak about Cena. Gunther said that he would be the final opponent for the greatest sports entertainer of all time, and Cena would be facing the greatest professional wrestler of all time. Gunther called Cena the man who never gave up. But beating Cena, that's not enough. He wants to break Cena, break his spirit, bully him, drop him on his head, wrap his arms around his neck, and squeeze him until the last bits of hustle, loyalty, and respect leave his body. Gunther basically said that there was only one way out of this, John. One way. And that is for me to make you give up. The man who never gives up will give up. This was a great, effective, simple, to-the-point promo from Gunther. So then Rey Mysterio, Lyra Valkyria, and Bayley, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, Stephanie Vaquer, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley were all soon entering the building. They show us NXT champion Oba Femi sitting in the front row. Oba Femi will be facing Cody Rhodes, the WWE champion, in a non-title match this Saturday at Saturday night's main event. And this does lead us to our first match of the night, is Io Sky versus Kairi Sane. It's a fine match. It was a really good TV match. So Sky was about to go for a dive early, but Asuka leapt up on the apron and blocked it. Sky went after Asuka, but Asuka dropped the top rope and Sky spilled out of the ring. Sky fought back after a commercial break and hit a springboard missile drop kick and a corner meteora to Sane. Sky then set it for a moonsault, but Sane quickly went to block it and followed this up with a double foot stomp for a 2. Sane then tried a backdrop on the apron, but Sky landed on her feet. Sane then didn't notice that she landed on her feet, and Sky gave her a German suplex on the apron. Sky followed this up with the Acai moonsault to the floor. Sky then set it for her moonsault in the ring, but yet again, Sane had a little bit of a distraction from Asuka that caused some interference, this time by knocking Sky off the top rope. Ripley then had enough of this and dumped Asuka into the timekeeper's area. Sane then failed to take advantage of the distraction. Sky hit her moonsault and pinned Kairi to pick up the victory. Sane then leapt into Rhea's arms as the two celebrated. Match went roughly 11 and a half minutes. I thought it was a good, very solid television match. And it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It got over the fact of, Io and Rhea are now a unit. Io is no longer friends with Asuka and Kairi. And Asuka and Kairi are the dastardly heels. They're going to try and do all the heel maneuvers and tactics and things to win their match. Logan Paul approached the rest of the Vision backstage. We're to believe that he's just part of the Vision now. And I think he's a perfect fit for it. He asked if they didn't see Rey Mysterio smack him in the face last week. Bronson Reed said he didn't like that. Breaker seemed unperturbed by all of it. Logan wanted something to be done about it. The Bronze kind of stood up and said that they would handle it tonight. And Logan was glad. Like, okay. Kind of weird because Logan, there's more. Logan then pulled Heyman aside, said that he wanted the situation handled. Heyman assured him that for the first time in his life, he's got backup. Logan was cool with that, but he wanted them to know that he was their backup if needed as well. He basically is saying, I'm working with you guys as a cohesive unit. I don't just want people to watch my back. I'll help you guys as well. I'm here as a team player. And I liked that Logan's, kind of said that. And so was Heyman. Heyman was happy to hear it. And he handed some brass knuckles over to Logan, telling him, here you go, just in case. Speaking of Rey Mysterio, Mysterio walked through the back and walked by Adam Pearce, who was, off to the side arguing with the New Day. There was a scene and video package about the "you can't see me" hand gesture. And then there was a War Raider video. So then we got an interesting segment. Rey Mysterio made his way to the ring. He was supposed to be facing Finn Balor, but as he was about 3/4 of the way down the ramp, Logan Paul would come from behind and knock him out, deck him in the back of the head. Mysterio then tried to fight him back. He got thrown into the dasher boards, thrown back into the ring, but then he got some momentum, set up for a 619, but was attacked by the Masked Man. Yes, Survivor Series Masked Man showed up, super kicked Rey Mysterio, gave him a curb stomp, and then ran away as security came down. Again, it's lost in theory, but we're not supposed to know that yet. Mysterio then slowly got to his feet, but Logan knocked him out with the brass knuckles. LA Knight's music then hit, and Logan tried to run away. Knight said that he would have an aneurysm if the Masked Man was really Seth Rollins. That's Seth Rollins? He said something, if that's Seth Rollins, I'm going to have an aneurysm. Something like that. Everyone still thinks it's Seth. In storyline, you're supposed to think it's Seth. So Knight wanted to stomp the Masked Man's head. But he said tonight, he's coming after the Vision. And how about he comes after Logan specifically? Knight was pissed off, and it didn't help watching Logan attack a legend like Rey Mysterio. Knight said that Logan would pay for that. Not Friday, not Saturday, but tonight in KC. He then just kept going, yeah. So Logan was going, no. And then, crowd started yawning with him. And eventually it was made official for later in the night, LA Knight versus Logan Paul. The announcers did mention how Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has been nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Actor for his portrayal of Mark Cuban. Mark Kerr in The Smashing Machine. Now, I thought Rock was great in the movie. I thought the movie's just all right. I know a lot of people really, really enjoyed and liked the movie. I feel like I went into this movie knowing too much because I'd seen the documentary a couple times. I actually just watched it within the last year because I wanted to refresh myself, and maybe I shouldn't have. Because I'm just going, I know what's coming next. Because that movie was almost beat for beat a recreation of the documentary. Like, they just watched the documentary and then rewrote it as a movie script. Unlike the Page documentary that they turned into a full-fledged ass different movie. So then they showed us Javon Evans in the front row, and that's when they told us that he and Leon Slater will be teaming up against AJ Styles and Dragon Lee in a non-title match at Saturday Night's main event. Speaking of AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, the World Tag Team titles are on the line tonight when the champions defended against the War Raiders. Now, right at this time, I get a notification on my phone that says Austin Creed is live on Instagram. And I go, what? And this is right before they came out. So I get that. I go to my phone. I'm like, what is he doing live? Is this up, down, down stuff they're working on? And right as I'm going to Instagram, all of a sudden you see the New Day come from the crowd over by the announce table. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting and cool. I like this kind of stuff. Second screen experience, I guess you would say. So they're at ringside just talking crap. It's the New Day and Grayson Waller. They're just sitting there talking crap about the match. At one point, Woods goes, my metabolism's so strong I can never look as fat as Ivar. So as far as the match does go, though, Eric and Ivar blocked some dive attempts early on by Styles and Lee. Eric drove Dragon into the barricade, and Ivar squished Styles into the side of the ring ahead of a break. They worked over Styles early on and through the break until Dragon Lee got a hot tag and ran wild after the break. With Eric hanging upside down in the ropes, Dragon Lee hit a double foot stomp. Excuse me. Burp came out of nowhere. We then go to another break as we see Dragon Lee hoist Ivar up on his shoulders for something and then kind of collapse and then sell the bag. Like, look like he was trying to go for like a fireman's carry or like, I don't know exactly. But like he got Ivar up. As soon as he did, he just rolled through it really fast just to get him back down. Crowd cheered as Lee hoisted Ivar up again up on his shoulders. He stumbled again, and Ivar tried to make up for it by pretending to counter. Dragon then, for a third time, I think he was trying to go for a Death Valley driver. Kind of got it a little bit. I don't know. Kind of looked like he was trying to go for like a fireman's carry roll through or a Death Valley driver. They tried, but they tried a little too many times. Once it doesn't work twice, just give up, guy. Crowd was very forgiving on this. Ali continued to fight both men on his own until Ivar power slammed him outside the ring. Ivar followed this up with a moonsault, but Styles just barely broke up the pin. Moments later, Styles used a Hurricane Rana to bring Ivar off the top rope, and Ivar collided with Eric on the way down. Dragon Lee then wiped out Eric with a dive. Styles hit Ivar with phenomenal forearm and pinned him to pick up the victory. Let me turn this fan on real fast. It's getting a little warm in here. Couldn't hit the switch for some reason. Anyways, so AJ Styles and Dragon Lee win the match, and immediately the New Day jump into the ring. The New Day approach the champions wanting a title shot, and all of a sudden, Jey Uso's music hits. Day one is my day one. So the Usos come down to the ring. And Jimmy makes a big announcement, basically stating the Usos are back in the tag division. And he buries his freaking brother. He buries Jey going, Jey tried to win the world title. And he did, but then he lost it. And then he tried to win it back, and he lost. Then he was in John Cena Last Time's Now tournament, and he lost in that too. So we're back together. Basically saying, my brother had minimal success as a singles guy, started sucking as a singles guy. Now the Usos are back. Like, damn, way to bury fucking your brother. Jesus Christ. So Jimmy said he saw his brother crashing out, knew he needed help. He called Jey in the middle of the night and said, hey, let's do this. Jey said that they would get back to us. They would block the noise, body them all, and put the tag teams on notice. He said, we are the best damn tag team division now in your city. Quote, we need gold, Us. Now the Usos then meant no disrespect to the current champions, but said Styles and Lee, they don't know the Usos. But they know the New Day. Usos got in their face and compared their rivalry to Ali and Frazier or The Rock and Stone Cold. I'm like, yeah, probably one of, or if not the best tag team rivalry of this generation, this decade. The Usos then turned their attention to the champions, stating that they want the gold, and then they were attacked by the New Day. The Usos decked the New Day And Grayson Waller bailed while the Usos took him out. Usos then stood face to face with Dragon Lee and AJ Styles as the segment ended. So I think we're getting Usos versus. Did they announce any matches for next week? I didn't see where they announced anything for next week. But during a commercial break, the Usos interrupted Byron Saxton. Not the Usos. The New Day interrupted Byron Saxton. And they basically said that they were going to beat down the Usos next week. So I think we're getting Usos versus New Day next week. But they didn't officially announce it. But Kofi and Woods insinuated it. So then they ran down the card for the John Cena Saturday Night's main event. John Cena versus Gunther and John Cena's retirement match. Bayley versus Sol Ruka. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans and Leon Slater. Cody Rhodes versus Oba Femi. So then Jackie Redmond's in the ring. She goes, you know, it's so great to be right here in the middle of the ring in Kansas City because I get to call out this next person. It's the Women's World Champion, Stephanie Vicaire. And she's all excited to call Stephanie down to the ring. And she basically just asked Stephanie, you know, you beat Nikki Bella, retained the title. What's next? And Stephanie takes the mic from her. Jackie disappears, basically. Vicaire says that she wants to face anybody and everybody. She's a fighting champion. She says, I didn't talk much, but my actions speak for my word. My actions speak louder than my words. She said, I am the best, not because of the devil's kiss. Vicaire said that Nikki Bella is a legend, but the women's division now is different than it was 15 years ago. We have a Rhea Ripley. We have a Bayley. We have Natty. We have Io Sky. All these amazing women. Vicaire asked Bella if she knew who was really on top. Nikki Bella then interrupted. Nikki Bella came out and so Nikki Bella comes down and they say, WWE Hall of Famer. And when you hear a guy in the crowd goes, no, she's not. I'm like, what the? Okay, guy. But Nikki Bella calls, no, I'm wrong. Nikki said that, so they did the intro, they call her Hall of Famer. Then she says, I am a legend. And that's when the guy yells, no, I'm not. Because she goes, I'm a legend. I'm a Hall of Famer. I'm a celebrity. You haven't done anything. And then she says that, you know, Stephanie Vicaire hasn't done anything and she asks for a rematch. That's what it was. She called herself a legend and a Hall of Famer. And a guy in the front row yells, no, you're not. So this is when Raquel Rodriguez would suddenly hop up on the apron out of nowhere. Effortlessly, she yanked Bella out of the ring, lawn dotted her into the post. She then got in Stephanie Vicaire's face and told her, you know, my name is Raquel Rodriguez and I'm coming for you. I'm taking your title. You can kiss my ass as I do it, or something like that. So seemingly they're setting up Stephanie Vicaire versus Raquel Rodriguez, which is interesting for what we get a little bit later. So during the break, Byron Saxton interviews Ivy Nile, who's got the Creed brothers with her. And I'm like, oh, we haven't seen the Creeds in a while. And he says something about, you know, next week. And it sounds like he announced, but again, we never got graphics or anything for it, Ivy Nile versus Maxine Dupree next week for the Intercontinental Championship. I believe that's the way this was advertised or laid out. Nile did not a good promo. He just says, you're a champion that holds that title like an accessory. Is that what you want? You're a champion that no one believes in. Is that what you want? And she keeps saying things, and it's like, is that what you want? Is that what you want? Now she says, I don't care that you have Natty. She's old and just your friend. She said that Dupree was going to drop the ball just like the Kansas City Chiefs did last night, and the crowd booed. And she said, next week, I'm going to beat you for the Intercontinental Championship. And my thought was, Chica, we haven't seen you wrestle in months. So I looked it up. Her last match was June, or at least last match on Raw. She hasn't wrestled on Raw since June. Like, let's go to her cage match really fast again. Ivy Nile cage match. Like, this is not good. She's getting a title shot, and listen to this. So Ivy Nile did main event like 2 weeks ago. She beat Thea Hale. She's done some dark matches at SmackDown. She's worked some NXT house shows, but she hasn't worked a Raw since June 16th when she was in a Queen of the Ring first round 4-way where she lost to Asuka with also Raquel Rodriguez and Stephanie Vaquer in the match. So, yeah. It's been since June 16th that she's even wrestled on Raw. I guess you can count main event as TV because they're technically kind of somewhat televised, but like mainstream main roster TV, she hasn't had a match since. Well, I take that back. She hasn't had a match on Raw or SmackDown since June, but she was in the Evolution Women's Battle Royal. Then yeah, she's getting a damn title match. When, listen to this, like she beat Thea Hale on main event, 2 weeks ago in a 5-minute match. Then she lost to Lyra Valkyria. I'm only going off of her singles matches. She beat Maxine in July. That was her last, other than beating Thea Hale, her other win was in July. And she lost to Kairi Sane on main event as well. So, yeah. Not good look at all. Anyways, Judgment Day were backstage. Balor was happy he didn't have to wrestle tonight. He goes, yeah, Ray got laid out. Your deadbeat dad couldn't even make it to the ring. Liv Morgan then is there, and Raquel Rodriguez walks up, and she goes, what was that? What was all that? She's like, I went out there, and I staked my claim for wanting to go for the Women's World title. And Liv's like, why didn't you tell me first? And Raquel looks at Liv and goes, I know we have to run everything by you before we do it. And Liv's like, oh, no. That's not what I meant. Go for it. I'm happy for you. Sure, cool. This was very awkward and not well done. And Raquel just goes, you know what? I'm going to talk to Pierce about getting a title shot. And she leaves. Liv, who looks very disappointed, turns around, looks at Roxanne and goes, well, guess I'm coming out to the ring with you for your match. And Rodriguez is like, oh, yeah, why? And she goes, we're Judgment Day. We stick together. And she's like, let's go talk about it. And Roxanne was just like, sure. Okay. So, yeah. It looks like Liv was not happy. She thought she was going to be the one to go for the women's title. Raquel and Roxanne would go for the tag titles, but now she's going to be with Perez to go for the tag titles, I guess. So it was Roxanne Perez versus Lyra Valkyria. Lyra comes down to the ring with Bayley, and then they show Bayley kind of talking a little bit with Sol Ruca, who was in the front row. As you know, Bayley will be facing Sol Ruca Saturday at Saturday night's main event. As far as this match does go, Morgan distracted the referee so Perez could rake Valkyria in the eye. Bayley then knocked Morgan down, so Perez kicked Bayley down as well. Perez then countered a roll-up attempt and shoved Valkyria into the ropes. Morgan was still on the apron, but enough was enough. She was kicked by Valkyria in the face. Perez then took advantage of the distraction and hit the Pop Rocks to pick up the win. This is a 10-minute match that I feel like nothing happened. That's why I was saying there was some dead stuff in this show, and this was one of it. I'm not saying the match was bad or anything, but it was just like, it wasn't great, and it was nothing happening. Literally, I have 2 paragraphs, 6 sentences of a 10-minute match. A 10-minute match. I got literally like 6 sentences written because nothing freaking happened. And half of what I wrote was all, Morgan got involved. Morgan caused a distraction. Bayley knocked her down. Morgan caused a distraction. Yeah, not good. This is when we got the promo from the New Day basically saying next week they're going to beat the Usos in their own penitentiary. There were then clips of John Cena's interview. He spoke about the you can't wrestle chants. They respond from him winning matches with the same 5 moves every time. He seemed to take it to heart and said, I learned new things. Over time, I worked with guys that taught me how to be better, like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles. They teach you stuff, how to do it better, how to be better. He didn't resist the audience's chants. He used it to fuel him and make himself better. I think you can now see the full interview online. The Tom Rinaldi interview, I think is what it is. We then got another training video of Dupree and Natty. I think this was a different one because now Dupree was screaming more, give it to me in a different way. Like, anyways, great videos. We've seen 2 of these now, and they're both really well done. Joe Tessitore said that he was impressed with Dupree's level of training based on this dimly lit video. So then it's time for LA Knight and Logan Paul. And I'm like, this is kind of early. I would assume this is the main event. What is going on? And it's like 10 to the top of the hour. If that. No, like 5 minutes to the top of the hour. So I'm like, this is early if this is the main event. Is there something that's going to happen that we don't know about? And there was post-match stuff. So, because the match ended like at 9:10, 9:09 Central. Which I'm like, there's got to still be like 15, 20 minutes left in this show. Anyways, Logan gave Knight a cheap shot as he entered the ring. And the ref decided, you know what? Let's just start it. Ding, ding, ding. You're good. Let's go. Knight fought back anyways. Cleared the announce table before bouncing Logan's head off of it repeatedly. Knight was in full control until Logan hit a zigzag for a 2. Logan's zigzag, way better than Miles Bourne's zigzag. Oh boy, that guy needs some work. Miles Bourne is good. But did you guys watch Deadline? He tried to give Dion Lennox a middle rope zigzag, and it did not look good. It basically just looked like he doesn't know how to wrap the arm around the guy to pull him out for the zigzag. And it just looks like they fell off the middle rope. Like, not good. Esports Gaming Rules. I saw it. But like I said before, I'm not just going to read it as soon as you send it. We're going to read it when there is a spot in the review to read it, guy. You got to calm yourself. I appreciate the bit donations, but you got to wait. Because how do you know we have a super chat I haven't read yet either. So it's like, calm down, guy. Someone super chatted before you. I haven't got to that. Anyways, Logan maintained control through a break. He hit an alley-oop facebuster as we came back. Knight then fought back with a leaping clothesline, Russian leg sweep, and a neck breaker for a 2. Breaker and Reed then marched out as Knight set up on the top rope. Logan used the distraction to knock Knight off the top and hit a clunky-looking flying crossbody for a 2. Knight countered a gut-wrench slam with a reverse DDT, follows up with an elbow drop. Knight then knocked Breaker off the apron as he tried to get involved, but he was knocked down by Reed instead. The referee then eventually figured out what happened and ejected the Bronze from ringside. He didn't quite leave, I guess you would say. Knight then attacked Logan by the announce desk, and as the referee tried to get rid of the Bronze, the Masked Man came back again. Masked Man flew in, gave Knight a curb stomp on the announce table, and that's where Logan realized what was going on and took advantage. He threw LA Knight back in the ring, hit him with the big old frog splash, and pinned him 1, 2, 3. The Bronze then jump in and attack LA Knight. Breaker speared Knight, and Reed gave him multiple tsunamis. The match goes 12 minutes and 45 seconds. Like I stated, it was like 9:09, 9:10 Central, and I'm like, this show can't be over yet. What the heck is what do we still got? And we see Medical taking LA Knight out as the Vision stand tall in the ring. Now we do have some super chats and stuff, so let's go over here. We do have a super chat from WWE fan 1267. He does state, do you see any more matches being announced for Saturday night's main event? That's a tough one. Because usually these Saturday night's main event shows, which is going to be 2-hour shows, usually only have about 4 matches. Now, since it's only on Peacock and we're not getting commercials, maybe they let it go a little longer. It's not restricted by like you got to be off the air at a certain time anymore. Now it's not on NBC. So maybe they can go a little bit longer and maybe we can get a 5th match. I don't know what that would be. It's got to be something main roster versus NXT because that's what all these matches are. And I don't know what that could be. Whether that is Jade having a match with an NXT wrestler. I don't think it would be Stephanie Vakir. I'm trying to think of like champions that can wrestle somebody, but I don't know. I could see maybe one more match, but as we've learned in 2025, Saturday night's main event shows are usually 4 matches, but that's 4 matches when they're on NBC. So we'll see. We do have another super chat from Big 66. Big says, with John Cena having his final match, do you think Gunther wins and then goes on a big run to WrestleMania? So, as I've said since last week, I said it on Monday and I've said it on Friday, I think Cena wins. I think Gunther is the type of opponent that would be perfectly fine to lose to John Cena in his final match. And with John Cena losing to Dominic at Survivor Series. I don't see him losing 2 in a row. So that loss at Survivor Series tees him up to be able to win at Saturday night's main event. Now, if he would have beat Dom, then I see him losing the final match. But because he lost to Dom, I see him winning the final match. So I think John Cena wins, and then Gunther's going to be fine. Gunther's a big enough star. He's going to be fine. Over on Twitch, Esports Gaming Rule says WWE doing the Becky Lynch boycott Raw storyline now. That's what it seems like. She's doing her vlogs where she says she's not coming to the shows. He says, who will be the special guest for John Cena's final match? Trump, Vince, or someone else? Not Vince. From everything I'm hearing, it's not going to be Vince. Could Trump show up? Sure, maybe. I don't know. But it's not like he has a connection to Cena. Yeah, they're in DC. But, I mean, special guests. We'll probably get it's Saturday Night's Main Event, so they always bring the legends in. But I wonder if they bring any legends in with a history with Cena. Now, they can't bring in an Edge. They can't bring in a Jericho. Because those would be like 2 of the big ones that have had big matches with John. But like a JBL, I can see a JBL being there. Let's see. John, maybe Batista, but I doubt it. John Cena's biggest opponents. Let's see. Who are considered John Cena's biggest opponents? I mean, The Rock, but I don't think The Rock would be there. Punk? Maybe Punk appears and like does something backstage with John before the match. But yeah, everything I'm looking at, it's like Edge won't be there. Rock won't be there. Brock won't be there. I'm just thinking of Cena's biggest matches and moments. Randy, probably. Good chance. Punk, good chance. AJ Styles will be there. Whether he does something with John or not is to be seen. And then Batista's one that, you know, that's they came up together. But I just don't see Batista being there. He's distanced himself since that WrestleMania 35 match. He's supposed to go in the Hall of Fame, and then COVID hit, and he said bye-bye. And I'm trying to just think. Who else? Like, I think that's it. As far as, like, Cena's biggest opponents. And I say JBL, because that's who he won his first world title from. That's who he had that bloody, was it the bull rope match or whatever? Yeah, so... We'll see. We'll see what they do. Pull out all the stops. Again, it's a Saturday Night's Main Event. It's a 2-hour show. Maybe because they're on Peacock, they can go longer and do more. Not going to be commercials, I don't think. I mean, we'll probably get the quick Peacock ads, but we'll see. We'll see. So Heyman grabs the microphone and starts his promo. As, you know, you go to commercial. Heyman told the stagehand they would still be talking when they returned. Heyman put over his guys before stating that Braun Breaker is going to beat CM Punk and become the world champion on the anniversary of the Raw debut on Netflix. The crowd starts chanting for Punk. Breaker then grabs the mic and wondered where Punk was. He was wondering where Punk was physically. He wondered where the CM Punk was. He didn't buy this new guy CM Punk, nice guy CM Punk. All of a sudden, Punk returns and he's the nicest guy in the world. He wants to be everybody's friend. That's not the CM Punk that he grew up watching. That's not the CM Punk you hear the stories about. He followed the rules and took pictures with a young talent just to post it on social media for people to see because he's a nice guy now. That's not the real CM Punk. Breaker repeated a joke we've heard before, saying Punk preached being straight edge, but still looked like the biggest crackhead you've ever seen. And yeah, we've heard that joke for years. That CM Punk looks like the biggest punk rocker, weed smoking, beer drinking guy. And he doesn't do any of that. Breaker didn't want to face nice guy CM Punk. He didn't want to face a guy that he feels like he could beat easily. He wants the old best in the world CM Punk, the guy from 2011 to 2013, the guy who walked the halls as a feared man, the guy who beat The Rock, the guy who held the world title for more than 400 days, the guy who was one of the greatest wrestlers to ever lace up a pair of boots. Breaker was on his hands and knees begging for the old CM Punk. He wanted to beat the greatest superstar to ever lace up a pair of boots. Otherwise, this Punk, he's going to destroy him and send him to the hospital. He's going to break Punk, take his title, and hell, while he's at it, maybe take his wife as well. Breaker wanted to keep it simple. He said, Punk, it would be spear. 1, 2, 3, spear. 1, 2, 3, spear. 1, 2, 3, spear. 1, 2, 3. It's a good promo by Braun Breaker. Very good promo. Then they're not distracted, but like their attention's diverted because the big screen shows LA Knight being attended to. He's pushing off all these guys like, I got it. I'm fine. I can take care of myself. And so Logan Paul and Bronson Reed run to the back to go deal with LA Knight. Knight tried to fight them off. He punched out security, but it was all too much for Knight as Reed slammed him through a table. Reed and Logan were about to leave. The Knight wouldn't stay down. They slammed Knight into a car and then placed him on the roof. Reed then climbed atop a big old stack of equipment boxes and gave him a tsunami onto the roof of the car. And it pierced within a pier. Him and officials were screaming at them to get away. Medics then went and checked on LA Knight as the show went off the air. So there we go. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Friday Night SmackDown. Not Friday Night SmackDown, Monday Night Raw. What am I thinking? SmackDown's Friday. Anyways, Monday Night Raw was a good show, like middle good. Not great. There were some dead spots and lulls in this show that kind of just skated by. But overall, an easy to watch Monday Night Raw. With that, you know what I thought of the show. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of tonight's show. Looking at the polls. Refresh these really quickly as far as the Threads poll does go. 71% liked the show. 29% thought it was just all right. Looking at the Twitter X poll, 63% liked the show. 18% thought it was just all right. And 18% didn't like it. Looking at the community poll, 66% liked the show. 21% thought it was just all right. And 13% didn't like it. And finally, the live poll, 82% liked the show, 10% thought it was just all right, and 8% didn't like it. With that, guys, that's going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here, twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, we'll be back live on a Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. Probably going to do a Fortnite stream tomorrow, checking out the new Percy Jackson stuff. So have a great night. And we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.